Hello, this is Alan Matthews from TransformYourTraining.com. I'm about to reveal the 7 deadly sins of technical training. By technical training, I mean where you're helping people to learn information, facts and figures, legislation, regulations, rules, or technical processes, as opposed to what's often called soft skills training. These are 7 of the most common mistakes I see people making when they're delivering technical training. Of course, there are a lot more than 7, but the 15 deadly sins of technical training didn't have quite such a ring to it. Let's start with the biggest sin first, just having far too much content. A lot of technical courses I've seen are just crammed with information, and there's too much for people to take in. Unfortunately, the brain has a limited capacity to take in new material. Here's a test. Go and get a glass and hold it under a tap, and turn the tap on. What happens as the glass fills up with water? Does it miraculously expand to take in the extra water? No, it doesn't. The water overflows. That's exactly what happens to your brain when you're faced with too much technical content. I bet you've sat through training courses yourself in the past and got to a point where you thought, no, stop talking, that's just too much information, I can't take in any more. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You have to be ruthless in selecting only the essential material to include in your course. Sin number 2, not linking the new material to what people already know. One of the ways that the brain works is that when it's faced with new material, it tries to link it and connect it with something that it already knows. As the trainer, you can help people to form those links and connections. In order to do that, you need to know what people already know. You need to know what experiences they've already had, and then build on that as you introduce the new material. If you don't do that, the material might be pitched at the wrong level and people will struggle to grasp it. A similar point is sin number 3, not relating technical material to people's real lives. Often there seems to be a gap where technical information seems a bit abstract, a bit theoretical, not very practical. People can't see how to apply it. You need to help them see where the overlap is. Otherwise, they won't be able to use the information. In fact, they probably won't understand it or remember it in the first place. Ask yourself why they need this information. What will they do with it? How will it help them? And make sure that they understand that when you present the information. Sin number 4 is only appealing to one learning style. A lot of technical courses are delivered in what we used to call a chalk and talk style, that is more of a presentation or a lecture. Of course, the modern equivalent to chalk and talk is using lots of PowerPoint slides. Blech. You don't do that, do you? No, I thought not. If you only deliver material in one style, then only one sort of learner is going to be able to take advantage of it, and other people will be excluded. So you need to try and introduce different styles, present your information in different ways, appeal to different senses, use visual material, get people moving around and active, so that they're not learning in a very passive way. Sin number 5, people don't get their learners in a receptive state. By that, what I mean is, if learners are in a receptive state, they're curious, anxious to learn, eager to find out new information. Unfortunately, a lot of people who turn up to technical courses aren't in that sort of state at all. In fact, they didn't even choose to be there. Someone probably sent them. Or they had to go because it's a health and safety course or something like that, and they have to tick the box to say they've attended it. It doesn't mean that they're interested. As the trainer, I'm afraid it's your job to try and get them into a receptive state. The good news is there are lots of ways you can do that. But you have to recognize to begin with that that is your job. Sin number 6, using negative language, and this is linked a little bit to the last sin. I've seen technical trainers introduce information and say things like, oh, this is quite complex, this is a bit difficult. I think they're doing it from a positive viewpoint. They're trying to support people and say, I understand this can be a bit awkward, a bit difficult to grasp. But I think the impact is that it actually can form a barrier. In terms of getting people in a receptive state for learning, it's not a good idea to tell them that something's going to be difficult. Sin number 7, blaming the material. The times I've heard trainers say this, oh, what can I do? It's so dull, it's boring material, it's dry. Well, I'm afraid a lot of material is like that, especially technical information. And it's your job again as the trainer to convert it into something that's lively and interesting and engaging. A lot of material's written by technical specialists who know the subject but don't necessarily know much about training or learning. If you're the person running the course, it's your job to convert it into something that's a bit more exciting. On that subject, if you'd like to learn lots of ways to do precisely that, to make your training exciting, engaging, interactive, appealing to different learning styles, then you need to attend the technical training workshop I'm running on the 26th of November in Solihull in the West Midlands. You'll find all the details by reading down the rest of this page. You'll go away from that workshop with lots of new tips, ideas and techniques. It'll make your life a lot easier, it will make designing and delivering your training a lot easier and a lot more fun as well. So please read all the information about the workshop, and at the bottom of the page you'll see exactly how to book your place. Now, places will be limited because I want it to be a fairly small and interactive workshop, so you need to act fairly quickly. So read the rest of this information and book your place on the workshop on the 26th of November 2009. I hope to see you there. This is Alan Matthews from transformyourtraining.com. Bye for now.